Hello viewers, my name is Nanekuya Boachua. I'm the presenter and the host for A2A Talk Show. So today, being the first episode, basically is an introduction to the show and also a discussion with one of the most distinguished personalities in the African Australian community. So I'm introducing the show to you today. The name of this show is A2A Talk Show, which literally means Africa to Australia. So Africa to Australia Talk Show with me, and you can call me Nanekuya. So this show is one-on-one or one in a group interview with the most prominent, well-known, well-noted, influential personality in the African Australian community. And I believe viewers would like to know who they are, what they do, their experiences, achievement, area of expertise, any stories, and most importantly, advice from these guests to the general public, especially our young generation. Not to know is bad, but not to wish to know is worse, an unknown African proverb. So discover our culture, our tradition, our history, our stories, our people through this influential guest on this show. So why am I doing this? My mission is to facilitate integration, to change the way people perceive Africans, to encourage, motivate, and educate our people, especially our young ones, to create an awareness about our contribution to the globe, to create an awareness in the African community about the opportunities we have here in Australia and other developed countries, to facilitate social inclusion and positive behavior, to transform people through entertainment, last but not the least, to bring happiness and a sense of fulfillment to every home. So my vision is that people from different religion, different race, different culture will all come together and live as one. Africans will feel their self-worth, they will embrace who they are and live comfortable within themselves. People will be informed about our contribution to the globe. So with me here today, she's someone that I've been following for quite some time on social media, and I'll be very specific on Facebook and Instagram. She is the founder of Psych Solution. She is the owner of Kalahari Designs. She was the president of Queensland African Community Council, QACC, here in Australia, Queensland. She is an advocator, and she advocates for social inclusion and justice. This lady's numerous activity and roles is not limited to Australia. She is the co-founder and the director of a family orphanage center in Botswana. She was also honored as one of the 125 leading women in Australia in 2013. She is also one of the 100 most influential African Australians. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miss Sharon Orapeleng. I thought this day would never come.
Oh my goodness.
And it's here.
It is.
I'm so happy to see you today.
So
happy for you to participate in this.
Thank you.
I did an introduction before, and I said a lot of things about you, about your roles and your activities, but I know there is more. And we are going to discuss all your roles and your activities on this show. Yes, but before we start, the whole day I know. But before we start, I would like you to introduce yourself to viewers so they will know who they are listening to.
Okay.
So who is Sharon Orapeleng?
Oh my goodness. You know, my son, he's 6 years old. And sometimes when he tries to describe me, he would say, "Mommy, you're majestic." Now, I don't know whether that means I am, you know, to his 6-year-old eyes, I am the world to him.
Just a 6-year-old boy.
He's 6-year-old, and I feel like, you know, I am being a mom. Of course, his son would think I am the world to him. So when I get asked to describe myself, I said, I'm a mom first. You know, I'm a mom because that role is a role that is so huge.
You're doing
that
a lot,
I cannot separate it from who I am as Sharon. So I'm a mom.
And you've got all these many roles.
Yes, and I got many roles. You know, I have my husband David. I'm a community leader. mental health professional, and you know, and many other things. As I mentioned, I hold a lot of roles in the multicultural sector, Vice President of the Queensland Multicultural Council. You know, I'm the ex-president, the former president for the Queensland African Communities Council.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I've been involved a lot in the African community, as well as in the multicultural sector in whole and as a whole, but many other things.
We will talk about all that on the show.
You.
Sharon, where do you come from? Originally, where do you come from?
From Botswana. Botswana is a very small country down south of Africa, and I was raised in a small village called Hebron in the southern part of Botswana. So yeah, it is the land of diamonds, as people say. It is the land of Mara Motswe, the First Lady Detective. A lot of people have read the books called First Lady Detective by an author called Alexandra McCall-Smith. So people sometimes identify Botswana with what they've read in those books, which is a great depiction of the culture and the country that I come from. Yeah,
I just want to know, why did you migrate to Australia? Because I was, you know, I have to do a little bit of research about you because you are coming to the show.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Botswana's country profile, and I read that they are the largest producer of diamond, as you said.
Yeah.
The country is very stable, and, you know, unlike other African countries where there's instability here and there, Botswana is not like that. And your human rights is really good. So I just want to, that's why I'm asking, why did you migrate from a country like that to Australia?
You know, I wanted to study psychology. As a little girl, I wanted to be so many different things. But one of my major influences in my career has been my mother, who was a psychiatric nurse at that time. So, you know, I had seen a lot of books around mental health, and probably I was just a natural counselor. You know, naturally I would help people with their issues, and naturally people came to me when they had things and wanted to bounce off ideas. And so psychology was something that then came into my mind. And
were you a mental health consultant back home?
No. Okay. I came here when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
So it was the fact that I wanted to study psychology. We did not have psychology in Botswana at that time, and in the Botswana University. So Australia became a place that offered, obviously, psychology, and I thought I could come here and study psychology. But I was actually going to go to the UK first, but the semester started here first, and I thought I just wanted to go and get it done.
Yeah.
So Australia called me, and I've been here 17 years.
And after your studies, you decided to stay?
I met a man. Yes. What can you do? You know, I met a man.
I know.
And you know, he said, let's try it out. You know, I said, okay, well, we can try it out and see how we go. And of course, here we are, and we have a little boy, and you know, I have 2 homes, and my boy knows I have 2 homes, Australia and Botswana.
Oh, okay.
And it's beautiful.
Some of our listeners may want to know more about Botswana.
Yeah.
I know you talked a little bit about Botswana when you started, but we just want to know more about Botswana. What is Botswana actually known of? What's so popular about the country?
There was a magazine, I think it's The Lonely Planet, I'm not so sure, but it's a magazine that advises on you know, the best places to visit every year. And Botswana has been listed as the #1 place to visit for 2016.
Why is that?
Why people get so attracted to our country? It's because we have such a rich diversity of wildlife, of culture, and the stability, meaning peace, economy, is something that attracts people. They want to come and be, you know, they don't want to feel threatened of their safety, and be able to enjoy themselves. And I think Botswana provides them with that idyllic you know, place to visit. We have the Okavango Delta, which is the largest inland delta in the world, and people come over there all over to come and experience this magical place. And we have so many other places around in Kasane and up north of Botswana, the rich diversity of the wildlife, and it's just very attractive to people. And also, we are landlocked. So it means that while you're in Botswana, you can go in a day trip to Zimbabwe, just across the border, go across to South Africa, again, Sun City in South Africa, across the border, to Zambia, across the border, to Angola, across the border. So we are actually landlocked. We have all these countries around us. And that also provides that, you know, that opportunity, as I say, to travel to other places while you are based in Botswana.
I watched your interview with Entrepreneur Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were talking about this movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's a movie that I've been, you know, I started watching this movie when I was very young, and I still watch it. I still search it on YouTube and watch it.
Yeah.
I don't get bored with it because
Yeah.
the, you know, the story is really, really good. I like the story.
Yeah. It's a comedy, you know, about, and I know people say, you know, the Bushmen of Basara.
But it's a movie from Botswana though, because I have a Kenyan friend and he was telling me from Kenya.
It depicted Botswana, but also Namibia. It's the Bushmen.
Okay.
You know, the Bushmen are the traditional owners of the land in Botswana and in Namibia. So they're the Khoisans. And they have been there for thousands and thousands of years before we migrated from up north. As the Bantu-speaking people, were part of the Bantu-speaking people. I don't want to get too much into the history, but they were there before us. And the Gods Must Be Crazy, of course, depicts them as these people who had absolutely no idea of you know,
yeah, but is it just a movie, or there are people like that? Is it just a movie, or there are people?
The thing is, if we understand how and when that movie was made very long time ago.
Very long time ago.
Of course, it is, you know, this white man discovering this primitive people, their way of life, and just. They have no idea what's going on. They think, you know, they can walk to the end of the world to throw this bottle of Coke. I mean, it is definitely not.
That is a really good movie.
It is a funny movie, but it doesn't necessarily depict the richness of the culture of the Basara people, the Bushmen. It doesn't depict that richness and that knowledge of thousands of years that exists. You know, how they have survived without this modern, without Coke, you know, without drinking Coke. They have survived without that. Of course, they used to look at the stars and know where, you know, where they're going is. They were nomadic people. They moved from one place to another. So, and for them not to get lost, they would look at the stars and see and guide, they can guide them where they're going. Now, those are the things that we should have probably had a movie trying to learn about how they do things, rather than having a movie about how to introduce this Western culture to them. But that's just, you know, my opinion.
This is just by the way, Sharon. So with all these roles, tell us a bit more about your educational background.
Well, I came here to study psychology, as I mentioned. So I did psychology. I finished that in Melbourne, La Trobe University in Melbourne, and then I moved over to the Gold Coast, and that's where I did my master's and my postgraduate diploma in behavior management, as well as my master's in behavior management. So my whole academic career has been really geared towards understanding people's behaviors and trying to find ways to support people, especially towards later on when I was doing my master's, I was very interested in autism spectrum disorders and other challenging behaviors, especially after people had some acquired brain injury, for example, and a whole lot of other things. So mental health and really how to support people to live a fulfilling life despite whatever it is that they might have. So that was really the bulk of my academic career, and that has led to my professional career as well.
I'm so impressed. Let's talk about you being the president of the Queensland African Community Council.
Yes.
So what are some of your roles as the president of the entire African community?
So I was the president, so I'm no longer the president.
Yeah.
Yes, I was the president. I've been involved with the Queensland African Communities Council for a very long time, and I held a number of roles in that association, and eventually became the president for the organization. So it was really, the Queensland African Communities Council was set up as an umbrella body. It was about bringing the diversity of the African communities together to deal with the issues that impact on our full participation in the Australian community, and to be able to find ways to support ourselves. And we recognized, and a lot of the leaders who initially sat around the table to think about this idea of an umbrella organization realized that there were so many issues that were common amongst all the African communities. So issues of employment, racism and discrimination, and many other issues. And they realized that to be able to advocate and make a change, you have to come together, regardless of whether you come from north, south, east, west of Africa, and speak with one voice. And by speaking with one voice and being united, you have more power to do things and change what is not right. So that immediately attracted me to the organization, and of course we did a whole lot of other activities, consultations with the community. We set up subgroups, subcommittees. We talked to the government directly. We talked to the settlement agencies directly. We worked on programs to empower our young people. We started the African Women's Network. And also one of the things we did was to get a community center for the African community, African House. And that was to create a hub of the African community.
That sounds like a very big responsibility.
It was a big responsibility, but it was a very necessary responsibility. Because you wanted to be able to create, a place for us. We are here, African Australians, we are here, and we are visible. So we wanted to create a safe space for us, but for other people who are interested in knowing who we are, that they can come in and ask us any question. We did the Africa Day Festival, which has been going on for almost 5 years now. Again, to celebrate our diversity and celebrate all the things that makes us who we are. So, I was very privileged to have been part of an organization that achieved so much for the community here. And that organization is going strong and strong every year. So, yes, it's a great feeling.
Good job done. What are some of your achievements and challenges when you were president?
Oh my goodness! I mean, the greatest achievement I would say is really the work we did with young people. We had a project officer in Toowoomba and mentoring young people, and whenever you invest in young Africans, you make them feel that this home, Australia, is their home, Queensland is their home, and people are there to support them, and they can see you doing things. It just makes the future look brighter, and of course the work we did with African House is something that I'm really very proud of, and of course now African House has moved to a bigger place.
Yeah.
And that is
a bit far from me, though.
A bit far from you, but it's a bigger space. We've plenty of parking, so we're grateful for that. And the challenges has always been trying to unite a community on a common purpose. Our communities come here at different times. Some people come as refugees, some people come as migrants, some people come. So you find that the issues, although there are some commonalities of things, but also some differences, and it can be some very vast difference. Somebody coming on a 457 visa and a working visa and having issues as a result of you know, a whole lot of other things going on. Those issues might be very different from somebody who just wants to be able to learn how to speak English in order to get a job, who has come here as somebody who from a refugee background. So the way you try to deal with those issues are very diverse and very different. Yeah. And to try to do it all so you are able to meet the needs of so many other people was very challenging. And again, because of those differences, sometimes when you try to put people in one space, because that need that you're addressing might not be the need that is urgent for them, then it becomes a problem. So, but those are just challenges of life, really.
You are a very, very strong woman.
Thank you.
High spirit and very outspoken.
Yes.
So would you say being the president of the entire African community made you who you are?
No, I think it kind of added the you know, of course I learned so much. I was, you know, it's been, African Communities Council has been existing now for 10 years. It's just celebrated 10 years. And I was the only, still, the only woman who's held that position of the president in the organization. I'm hoping after 2 years there might be another woman there, but who knows? But again,
but now I think it's a man,
when I
isn't
started, now it's a Robert Mkombozi. When I started, I remember going to meetings and just being the only woman around the table. I had to be strong. You know, I had faced some things, some challenges where people thought, being a woman, you're not good enough to do this. Even challenging my role as the president, that, you know, I shouldn't be because maybe somehow I'm weaker than another person. And that, because I've always known who I am. You know, I was raised by a very strong man, and that was my grandfather. Mm. So that strength came from my surroundings and the things I've been through in my life that made me stronger as a person. So when I'm out there doing things, I'm able to exact who I am, because that base has already been built and is solid. So I'm able to face the challenges that come on my way.
Okay, so looking back at what just happened recently in France, it was believed that some perpetrators felt they've been marginalized. So back in your days as the president of the Queensland African Community, what did you do to facilitate integration of Africans into the Australian society?
You know, the issue of marginalization is a very, very, very difficult issue, because you find that when you come to a country and it's new culture, new everything, and you try to fit in, you try to be like everybody else, you want to be able, one of the commonalities of things for every human being, wherever they are, is that you want to be able to get a meaningful job. You want to be able to get in education. You want to be able to access health care. You want to be able to do the things that you want to do for yourself and for your family, to live and thrive wherever you are. So when you end up facing issues of racism, or you want to go into employment and you're told that your skill set is not good enough because where you come from, even though you've been doing all of that, you've been a doctor, you come here No, we don't recognize that.
Yeah, unless you
It's
go through,
shattering.
you jump through a lot of hoops.
You jump through a lot of hoops. So people feel that marginalizes me, or your religion. Just because something happened somewhere, somebody then looks at you and because of your religion or your race, taints you with the same brush. You know, if an African person does something, unfortunate somewhere, then the whole African community gets painted with the same brush.
Exactly.
You know, that is something that causes, and it's very serious, that causes a lot of people to feel like they don't belong. And that's where marginalization comes in. So as the president of the African community, it was my role to ensure that I support people who feel marginalized. If you feel like you've been discriminated against, we held workshops with the Anti-Discrimination Commission to teach people on what to do if you faced discrimination, either racial, racism, or, religious discrimination, or whatever type of discrimination you faced. There are laws in this country. We need to know how those laws work and be able to work with the people to address the issue of marginalization. Young people feeling excluded, they want to go and play soccer, and they are not able to access the fields, or they get chased out by clubs. It's our role as leaders to go and talk to those clubs and talk to the city council and say, well, can we find a space that's safe for these young people to be able to do and play soccer? That is how you deal with marginalization. So there were a lot of issues that came in, and as the president and as a member of the organization, I was able to work with the relevant agencies in order to address those issues.
Good. So now, Kalahari Designs, I think it's my favorite topic for the day.
Oh, I love my Kalahari Design.
It's my favorite topic for the day.
Oh, look at
so, with your educational background, where does Kalahari Designs fit in?
Psychology is universal. You can apply psychology in everything that you do in life. And that's one of the beauty about my academic career that I chose. Kalahari Design is a business, and it's a business that is about helping others. It's a business that allows me to work with women from Botswana, from South Africa, who make these beautiful things, as you can see with this lady from Botswana who made that for me. We talk with Kibakile designer. She made that as well.
I've got one of these.
And then the ladies from South Africa who makes these dolls, and by supporting them, they're able to support themselves and their family. For me, that is how you support people.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
as well as by being able to be successful in my business allows me to give to the community. We have an orphan care center in Botswana, and the money I make from all of this stuff, rather than having to take from my own pockets and my family's pockets all the time to give, then at least I've set up a business that is able to support the things that I love to do. And that's where Kalahari Designs, being a very I hate the word pro-African, but I've been called, I'm so pro-African, I have no idea what that's, but being a very proud African, I think that we have so much talent. Kalahari Designs allows me to showcase that talent from so many people and empowering women and empowering communities.
Excellent.
It's a beautiful, beautiful business to be part of.
Kalahari.
Yes.
What does it
From
mean?
the sense of the Kalahari, I always say.
Yeah, we know it's a desert.
Kalahari
but
desert.
Does Kalahari,
Yes.
does it have a meaning?
It's because my products come from the southern part of Africa. And showcasing the designers and producers from Botswana, and other places, with the art as well. So we have accessories. I have art
Beautiful.
that's from a very famous artist, Wilson Ngoni. He's the best in my country. I have home deco. and of course, you know, these little dolls that
can children play with this?
Sorry?
Can they play with this, or it's just for decoration?
No, they play with it. A lot of kids do buy this. A lot of parents buy this for their kids. And to the ethnic dolls, as you can see, dressed up in ethnic wear. And it's a great way of introducing ethnicity and you know, being proud.
That's very
a brown
beautiful.
Girl with, you can wear your parents' ethnic traditional clothes and feel proud about it. That's okay. You know, a little girl can do it. So it's just a way of introducing culture to children, you know, and a great way of doing it is with the dolls.
I like Kalahari Designs. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
I have
you.
earrings from you, remember?
Of us, and I'm very thankful for your support as well. Yeah.
So, Sharon, this is all about representing Africa, isn't it? And Kalahari Designs come from South Africa?
Southern Africa.
Southern Africa? Sorry, Southern Africa. So, what about the other places? You
know, designers and people, artists that I work with, these are the people I know personally. I'm not the kind of person who likes to go and just somewhere and buy stuff and sell in a mass. I don't do mass production and support all of that. I want to be able to know the real person who's made that and to have a story behind products. And it's the places that I've been able to go to. Of course, I would love to work with women in South Sudan, and I was establishing a project a few years ago, but unfortunately, you know, war continued in that country. But it was my wish that I go and support the women using their own, you know, sourced products, especially traditional material, to create products that I can buy from them and support them and with their projects. So I would hopefully one day be able to travel around and meet some great designers and
probably
artists.
Ghana.
Probably Ghana, yes, absolutely. I would love to go there. I love the kente, you know, the cloth, the kente cloth.
Very
and I would love to be able to go and meet people who do some amazing things with that cloth over there and other things that people do. So although it's Kalahari, it can definitely spread to the rest of Africa. Yeah.
Who are your target for Kalahari Designs? Who are you targeting for Kalahari Designs?
Really, everyone. I mean, everyone who love the products. I love the products myself, so I wear the products. I am the brand of Kalahari Designs. So, you know, there is, of course, accessories, women. But you know, I've had men who buying the products for their wives. You know, of course, for the children. I've had men buying interest in the art that I have. So it's the art, the decor. You know, with our cow hides, we have been selling some cow hides. It's a vast number of people who are interested in our products. They are not exclusively from one ethnic group or the other, or it's everyone, young and old as well. So it's great.
So what is the vision for Kalahari Designs? Where is Kalahari Designs heading towards?
You know, I am hoping that one day I will be able to open a shop, you know, somewhere where many people do not know much or see much of anything African. You know, so if I'm able to do that, and I'm hoping in the next couple of years, that's my 5-year plan, but you know, if I'm able to achieve it in the next year or 2 years, it would be great. Just to have a space to showcase what I do. Right now I sell stuff online and you know, carry some products at home and do the
I was going to ask, because you don't have a website. Do you have a website?
Yeah, I'm still developing the website, but I've been doing a lot through Facebook.
Facebook and I think Instagram as well.
And Instagram, I just started on Instagram as well. But he's been doing
So what
well.
do we do? We just have to send you a message if we want to buy something from you?
People have, that's what people have been doing. They just send me, you know, they like this product. When I put it out there, they like it, and then they purchase it. And also, you know, being the brand, and I wear my products quite a lot, that's often how I sell my stuff. And because I'm so busy with so many different things, I haven't been able to give the business as much as it deserves, in order to take it to another level. You know, I am hoping next year I'll be able to give it a little bit more time, but it is very difficult. I mean, I have two businesses. I have another business called Psych Solutions.
But do you want to do this alone, or you plan to employ people?
I would be looking at, of course, when I, you know, when I become bigger and grow in the business, you'll be looking at probably putting other people. I do have some people that could support me sometimes when I need, but being a small business owner and a growing business, sometimes it's not that easy to start right at the beginning, you know.
Yeah, you have to start from somewhere.
You have to start from somewhere. That's why I'll be looking at growing into a space where you can then actually get a manager, you can get a shop assistants, and get people to really push the products. The products, people really love them. People really love them.
It's very beautiful.
And, you know, it's
very beautiful.
Being able to supply. And sometimes I get scared because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I won't meet the demand. You know, like the dolls, they finished up within 2 weeks that I got them here. Then I had to order more. So it's sometimes it becomes so busy. And as a person who's very busy with the many roles that I have, it's been a challenge to juggle two businesses, and full-time work, and being mom, and family and friends.
That's mad.
Me, you know, it's just...
You know, I really wanted to wear your earrings, but look at the dress I have on. It will not match. I had the color, the green color, it will not match, so I decided to, you know.
That's okay, that's okay.
So Psych Solution, let's talk about Psych Solution.